I've got no strings to hold me down, to make me fret or make me frown. I've had strings, but now I'm free. There are no strings on me. So let's get crackin'! Hello, my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures out there. And if you are new, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, box swaps, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. So if that sounds interesting to you, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. So last week we started a new segment called 0 to 60, which looks at all of the canon films for Walt Disney Animation Studios. So not Pixar, not Toon Studios, not 20th Century, just Walt Disney Animation Studios. We started off with Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Had a little conversation about that, and I hope you really enjoyed yourself. I appreciate all the comments that I got on that particular post. So thank you so much for joining us and tuning in to that episode. Today we continue on to 1940s Pinocchio. Now, Pinocchio is based on a story by Italian storyteller Carlo Collodi. The tale tells the story about a puppeteer who did not have any children and wanted to have a son. So one night the blue fairy comes down and grants his wish. She creates a little boy out of one of his puppets. Now, before she leaves and, does her deed, she appoints a cricket named Jiminy Cricket as his consciousness. So, in order for him to become a real boy, he has to prove himself tried and true. And unfortunately, he has a lot of missteps along the way. So first, he gets involved with this couple of flim-flam salesmen, Honest John and Gideon, and they send him to Stromboli, the puppet master. Now, at first, Pinocchio is like, oh yay, I get to be in the limelight, and I get to sing, and I get to do this. But then he learns that he is not free, he is a prisoner. And so he's very sad about this. The Blue Fairy rescues him from this, tells him, come on, stay on the tried and true. You'd think that he would learn. But no, he goes back with Honest John and Gideon. This time, Honest John and Gideon sell him to the coachman, who takes them to this place called Pleasure Island. Little boys, wayward boys, and basically turns them into jackasses and to work in the mines. And so that's what starts happening. And Pinocchio starts becoming a donkey as well, but manages to escape. And he and Jiminy Cricket go to find Geppetto. Geppetto is trapped in the belly of a whale named Monstro. They got trapped in there while they were looking for Geppetto, for Pinocchio. They got trapped in there while looking for Pinocchio. And Pinocchio then becomes tried and true. He musters up the courage to save them all and rescues them from the belly. But at first we think that Pinocchio has passed as a result of his saving Geppetto and the gang. Well, fortunately, the Blue Fairy comes down and sees that Pinocchio did do well and grants the wish of him becoming a little boy. While Snow White and the Seven Dwarves might be the crowning masterpiece of the Walt Disney Studios animation line, I would say that Pinocchio comes in a close second. And in fact, some of the technological marvels of the time rival some of what we see today. Like the moment at the beginning when the multi-plane camera comes in through the town, I think looks just as good as any CGI as we've seen today. I think that a lot of people feel that hand-drawn animation looks old, but it really doesn't. If you take it to new heights, it will take you to new heights as well. And I think that Pinocchio is a grand example of that. Now, Pinocchio is a really dark film. And we talked about the darkness of films in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This one, I think, is even darker than Snow White. And how could it get even darker than a mother trying to murder her daughter? I think in this one, we see the horrors more than we did in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. When Pinocchio's captured or imprisoned by Stromboli, you can feel all the things going on around him. The loneliness of it all around you, the use of color and all of that. There's that scene, but the scene in particular that I want to talk about is one of my favorite scenes from my Walt Disney Animation Studios film. And this is when Pinocchio and Lampwick are on Pleasure Island, and they're playing pool, and they're smoking cigars, and they're drinking beer, and they're doing God knows what else. And all of a sudden, Lampwick starts turning into a jackass. And at first Pinocchio finds this humorous because, you know, he's got the ears, and Lampwick doesn't realize that his face kind of looked like a jackass to start off with, and so Pinocchio finds this humorous at first. But then in silhouette you see Lampwick like looking up to Pinocchio for help, and his hands slowly turning into hooves. And you see Pinocchio's face is just so horrified. I just find this scene to be like hauntingly beautiful. It's not a pleasant scene to watch at all. But it is a great scene. And I think that, you know, I've read a lot of, I don't really know what it's like to be a parent because I was not a parent. I helped raise my nephews throughout their life. And so I kind of know what it is, but I always had to hand them back, at the end of the day. I just feel like parents lose a lot of teaching moments. You know, instead of, talking to kids about the horrors of the world, you kind of shudder them and pretend that it doesn't exist at all. And I sometimes feel like that is not the best situation. And I feel like, I've seen parents complain about how Pinocchio is an awful film that, is so scary for kids, and why would Walt Disney want to develop something like that? Because it's great storytelling. That's why. Because teaches kids about morals, about not wanting to get into this lifestyle. That's what I think it's about. It's not about him trying to horrify kids. It's him trying to teach kids a lesson. So I think that the darkness in this film is just well played, and is the strength of the entire film. The character designs are just quite appealing in this film. I think that Pinocchio is one of the most adorably designed characters. He's like a little boy, but he isn't. He's a puppet still. And I just think that the way that they designed him with the nose and the and just making it so that when he lied, his nose would grow. I thought that was very clever. But just the joints in his arms and things like that. The character designs I just thought were very nicely done in this film. Then, of course, you have the music. The music was amazing. It won Walt Disney Animation Studios its first Oscar in terms of feature-length films, because it did not win one for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The only Oscar that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs won was the honorary award. So this film won for When You Wish Upon a Star, which, as we know, is one of the ultimate classics of Disney. So, what's interesting is that this film was not a financial success for Disney. He had lived off the coffers of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, built a studio around that, but this by no means met its projections, and it had opened to very mixed reviews. But what is great today is that it is considered a classic. It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was also named for the National Film Registry, and it made the American Film Institute's top 10 for 10 animation films, and it's 100 years, 100 movies. I think that is a wonderful success. In the end, I think that Pinocchio is an undeniable classic, and it's a masterfully told work of art. So I highly recommend watching Pinocchio through new eyes. Again, I think that we are so conditioned to looking at CGI as the end-all be-all, but really look at this film for some of the beauty of it, and how, again, if you think just a decade before, they were doing hand-drawn animation. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and if you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. Visit us on all of our socials down below. Visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. We really appreciate you joining us. We will see you next time for our 0 to 60 segment, and we will see you later. Bye!